Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video about my experience with mental illness and also spirituality because they're very closely linked, at least in my experience, and that's what I want to talk about. There's a lot of aspects to it, but the reason I want to talk about it is because if there's anyone out there going through something similar, and me talking about it can somehow help guide that person in a way that's positive and just to provide hope that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and you know things do change, then yeah, that's the reason I'm making this video. I want to help those people, and I'm a little bit nervous about doing it because I have a lot of fear about how people will perceive me, how I'm judged, but I feel like the possible benefits of me doing it outweigh the negative aspects of me doing it. So here I am. Okay, so yeah, I guess I should talk a little bit about my illness, which is my diagnosis of schizoaffective disorder. So what this means is it's a cross between schizophrenia and bipolar. So schizophrenia is hearing voices, having visions and things like that, unusual beliefs and things like that. And it also has like mania involved in it as well, but that's the other aspect of it, which is bipolar, which is the mood swings, the crippling lows and the manic highs. I just want to say here that seen from a purely medical point of view, those things can seem quite scary, but it's the spirituality behind it that I've always tried to keep intact that has given those experiences context and meaning to me, and that is why I want to share this video as well. Um, so yeah, my background was, I just want to talk a little bit about my background. Um, the reason why perhaps I experienced mental illness, in my view, is the trauma that I experienced as a child. And to give one example, well, basically it was all surrounding my dad, who's no longer with us anymore. Um, he was an addict and a very sort of abusive man when he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol, not just to me, but to the rest of my family as well. Um, but I remember one occasion when he pulled me out of bed one time when I was about 7 or 8 and told me to do 1,000 push-ups or else my family was going to die. And obviously at the time, like being 7 or 8 years old, that sort of thing, it has a massive sort of impression on you, and I was really scared at the time, and I literally got down and tried to do some press ups, but realised that I couldn't do 1,000. I couldn't do 1,000 now. So, um, yeah, that it was quite a scary experience, and there's other experiences involved around my childhood that have led to me having this sort of spiritual awakening or psychosis, whichever way you want to look at it. Um, and another one is the fact that while I was a child, around the same sort of age, maybe a little bit older, I heard a voice say, focus on the most important thing in life. And I didn't really know what to do with it at the time. So I kind of ignored it and forgot about it. And as I grew up, I sort of told myself, well, based on my experience so far, the most important thing to me is to be a better dad than my dad was to me, to find out what it takes to be that sort of man that can not be that way. But growing up, I started to fall into the same habits that he did. Like I assume when he was growing up, I started taking drugs, I started drinking loads, and I was never actually abusive to any women, but I fell into a deep sort of drug culture and stuff like that, and the perks were there, they were fleeting and shallow. Um, and obviously the whole time after the highs went, I was often left crippling, like just crippled by the weight of the lows and wondering sort of how am I going to get myself out of this and what's it going to take to actually heal and sort of focus on that most important thing and be that better person, because I'm not that person now. I knew I wasn't. I was very sort of anxious, depressed, scared of people, and the only way that I could feel not those things was to drink and consume drugs, and that would be the happy Tom, like I'm the life of the party, and that's the side of me that everyone loved. But there was this other side of me that no one really saw, which was the sort of wounded child that was just sort of, you know, crying and scared and really alone in this world, and just really sort of, yeah, just in a dark place. Yeah. So, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. So, I've been in hospital 7 times for my psychosis, and I won't get too much into that in this video because, you know, those things are important, but I want to talk about the overarching theme and what's helped me, in my understanding, develop as a person from those experiences. And the one thing that's been present throughout them is my mania. And that may seem counterintuitive to see how could mania be a positive thing. But in my experience, the mania was actually the antidote to all this darkness that had crept up within me from my childhood, and it was beautiful, albeit dysfunctional and, you know, disruptive at times and slightly bizarre. But what was going on up here and in here was pure, and it felt great. Like it, I was thinking about this earlier today, that it was very much like every little detail of life was perfect. Every little speck that could be observed in any dimension of life was just great, the way it should be, you know, teeming with energy, and I was part of that exquisiteness. That's how it felt. And the big sort of what's the word? The big sort of misunderstanding between what I was experiencing and psychiatry, I believe, is that I was told that that side of me was wrong. Like that's what needed to be cured. And that in my I was just, no, that's not what needs to be cured. This is what's real. This is what I've found from, you know, all this personal work, like inner work, to be the truth, and you know, beautiful, and it makes everything make sense. Like that's how it feels. Everything makes sense. Like you're just firing on all cylinders. Everything is beautiful. Everything is wonderful. And then of course you get given medication that takes all of that away, and you're sort of left, sort of, you're just like falling down from this amazing state into this, back into that wounded inner child. It's like, oh, sugar, you know, I'm here again. And I'm at the part of my journey now where I'm coming back up, but I'm still on medication. I'm learning to be sort of grounded and resilient in the face of chemical restraint up here. You know, the medication I'm on literally reduces the dopamine and serotonin levels in my brain, so that I have a limited capacity to be happy. So I've got to learn how to be happy with that being limited, and that's been a real challenge. That's what hurts. That's what hurts, to be honest, is the fact that I know that if I didn't take this medication, I could be like really happy, and I like, what's better than being happy? Do you know what I mean? Genuinely, truly happy. Like I know that I could be that way, but I have to take it because, well, let's explore this. Why do I have to take it? For one, I believe that my behavior when I'm off medication, sometimes at its extreme, can make other people uncomfortable, because I kind of, I say what I want, and I do things that are kind of a little bit crazy. Like I have no fear about anything, like at all. Like I'll just, like for example, one time I went off to Amsterdam with friends and ended up in Italy, Rome by myself, and yeah, ended up in hospital in Italy. So I kind of did a tour of the world's mental health wards, to be honest. Anyway, I digress a little bit. I can't remember what I was actually talking about. Yeah, medication. Yeah. Through that beautiful and exquisite experience of being high and manic, and I won't call it manic, I'll just call it embraced by love and joy and wonder. Through that experience, I found it very hard to calm down. Like, I was very excited about life. I was like, come on, everyone! Like, you're not excited enough. Like, we're here, we're spinning around this ball of fire, and we're on this rock, and it's all happening. It's all happening now, and everyone is just like, like, got things to do, and like just not really feeling it, and that was a big frustration as well. But I now see that part of the reason that I have to take medication is to learn that to be even more mellow, to be chilled out, to be grounded, to be stable. Um, yeah, so I guess the message that I want to get across to anyone experiencing something similar is that you can still hold within you your truth and your resilience, even if you're on medication. It takes work. It takes a lot of it takes a lot of insight and compassion towards yourself and other people, the people that you perceive to be taking something away from you, and that's probably the most challenging part of it. But through it, you can grow even more. You can have another dimension of growth to explore there, and that's it's not always easy, but it's possible. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes again. So yeah, I've kind of talked about everything that I wanted to talk about for now. I will be making other videos in the future about sort of specifically how I feel that I've come to a state of healing and you know, this resilience that I find within myself, and other phenomena like the voices and visions and stuff like that I experience. I want to talk about them because I believe that they're important, and I believe also that that emerging prouder onto something huge is because the way medical the Western medical profession views certain mental illnesses as a disease, something to literally just suppress and, if possible, get out of the body. Like, you know, just get rid of it. It's a problem. I don't see it that way. I really feel like mental illnesses can be transformative and can be hugely insightful and really sort of powerful in your life. They don't have to be this crippling thing that weighs you down. And yeah, I really feel that. I really feel that. Okay, so that's me done. Sorry for this stuttering and all that sort of stuff. Like I say, I was a little bit nervous. I hope this video helps some people. If only, if not, it's helped myself because I just wanted to get myself out there and share my story a little bit. Thank you.